Hello and welcome to Investors Hangout. This weekly interaction to help you learn and understand savings and investment issues is brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. Now, today's is a budget special episode. Nirmala Sitharaman rolled out the interim budget just a few hours back and she finished her speech in less than an hour. I have with me Dhirendra Kumar to decode her budget speech for you. So, Dhirendra, welcome.
Thank you. And there is not much to decode.
Right. You always say that budget now is more of an accounting report, whatever has happened through the year or the government plan for the next few months. But so what is your view on the, overall direction of the budget that Nirmala Sitharaman rolled out today?
I would not say that it is, rudderless. It's not a directionless thing. It maintains a status quo.
Okay.
And budget is a very important document from a standpoint that what is our financial health? Are we going to be bankrupt? Are we well off? Are we growing? Are we not growing? Where are the places? And it also allocates. It's an allocation machinery. What is our priority? And in that sense, there is a status quo. When we say budget has nothing in it for us, it is primarily that there was no change in things which directly affects us. But there are plenty of things which does not affect us, but it affects us directly. But plenty of things which affects generally. For example, 11 lakh crore allocation to capital expenditure of various kind. So when we think of those roads, Vande Bharat Express and this and that, all that money goes there. Yeah, it does not come into my pocket. When we talk of something which we can relate to, which is direct taxation, our income tax rate, change in surcharges, change in dividend, change in capital gains tax. These are things which we tend to expect. There is another thing which I'm thinking that is a positive in generally speaking, and we will have to wait for the fine print that. If the government is not going to be a huge borrower of a disproportionate scale, because there was no, pre-election budget I'm very scared of. I was expecting that, okay, there will be some announcement which will be populist and, spending. There wasn't anything of that scale. So, if government actually is able to corner a lot of money, money is a commodity whose value, price goes up, and that is, the price goes up means interest rates go up. That is bad for consumer. That is, and I'm hoping that if there is greater stability, greater growth, lower inflation, interest rates will come down, and generally everybody will benefit.
Is there anything which will directly impact the common man, the taxpayer?
Nothing, absolutely nothing, and maybe in future interest rates go down. But it has nothing to do with, of course, budget sets direction.
Right.
In that,
this is just an interim budget.
Interim budget,
yeah.
And we will have to see what happens in May. But this is something. There is absolutely nothing tangible.
Right.
In this budget for investors, there is a progressive. I would like to take a signal from a particular move that all the tax disputes or demands up to 10,000 rupee and 25,000 rupee, which are very old dispute, has been waived off. This actually shows the attitude of the government that cut the crap and get going. Because that is also a very business-like attitude of a government, because you are able to get rid of and move on from there, and it will actually be government will be spending more money, and the number of people who are affected by that came out as a surprise to me in the budget. That 1 crore people will be affected. That is quite a number.
If you had to point out a few hits and misses of this budget.
No hits and no misses. It's not trying to demand something from the taxpayers. Second is that the priority has changed quite dramatically when we look at, and the scale of taxation has gone up, even though the taxation rate has come down.
Right.
So the amount of tax raised has gone up by 2.5 times. That I think is quite significant, given the backdrop that direct taxation rates have come down, at least for the companies, to make it more competitive. So I would say that wait for the future. I'm always expecting. I always expect from a forward-looking government, which is futuristic, which thinks long term, that it should work towards incentivizing long-term investment. And this is where, I will keep on expecting, I will keep on hoping that someday the government will incentivize it, because most middle class people who don't have a constituency, or they are not large enough constituency where they will have a voice, is that they have to take care of their retirement themselves. Government is not the primary employment provider. We know that even government is going to enable NPS for them. So incentivizing long-term investment, long-term savings and investments into market in a methodical way, and which can be done, and maybe even incentivizing periodic investment. If you do a monthly SIP in a tax saving fund, you get slightly superior advantage, because
probably
the behavior,
altering that 80C limit also.
80C limit, that should, my understanding, my other demand at all times for future also, that a forward-looking government should actually link the tax slabs to inflation rate. If I'm making ₹1 lakh and my tax rate is 20%, next year I've earned ₹1,10,000, but that is actually adjusted for the inflation. If that was the inflation rate,
right,
then the taxation rate should also get adjusted.
All right, so do you think over the years this particular day, the budget day, has lost its relevance?
No, it has not lost its relevance. It is less impactful, because earlier
people used to wait for this day for buying anything.
Yeah, I remember when I was a child, people used to get their scooter filled with petrol, so that because budget was expected to be always inflationary, or always rising taxes. No longer. Now the GST has taken care of that. Every quarter the GST council meets and decides if there is a change.
Right.
Besides that, the market forces are at work. In the controlled regime, we have actually carried the legacy that budget is going to make a difference to our life. No longer. Now demand and supply drives the market. Globalization of the market drives the prices. Next is, the big moves by the government. If you look at what happened with the GST execution,
right,
it was once in a 100-year implementation, and
it
happened without the budget. It was, is it happening, is it not happening, and somehow they were able to cobble it together. Then look at the big, reduction in the taxation rate for companies, which was long awaited, and it happened without the budget. In fact, it happened at a time when we had already paid taxes for half the year, and then came the announcement without the budget that the taxation rates will change. It happened in the middle of the year, and then we were told that, okay, whatever you have paid so far, you will get it back, or you can adjust it with a future tax payment. So big things happen without the budget, and that is why it has lost its relevance. So we should change, we should actually alter our expectation from the budget, that what to expect from it and what not to. The expectation will be that we should look at budget as a pointer or a signal to the health of our economy. Are we growing? And government's priority. That is it, end of the story. And maybe budget many a times is also an opportunity, because it is a money bill. Many of the complexity of our economy, of our systems, can be addressed in the budget. Right. So look for simplification, look for the health, and that's about it.
All right, then that's all that we had in this budget and in this episode for you. Keep watching this space for more information. If you like the show, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye for now.